And we're live. Good afternoon, everybody, on this nice, warm summer's day. First of all, before I do anything else, I've got a good shout out to Colin, of Wood Wizardry by Colin, because he won the Bud Vase box thing last week. And in return, he's made me this lovely coaster, which is not showing its best on that camera, but it's a piece of slate with my logo embossed onto it. It's a lovely coaster. And he also sent me a sticker, which I did find, unlike Brian's sticker that was hiding in the bottom of the box, and I sent it to Colin by mistake. But that same box had also been sent to Steve and then back from Steve, and none of us found the sticker until Colin did. So thank you very much, Colin. At the top of the chat, Colin's website is pinned. He doesn't actually have these on there for sale, but I'm sure you can contact him through that if you're interested. And let's bring in my earworms and say hello to them. There we go. So we have Ruby, Mike, Mark, and Brian.
Hi, everyone.
Good afternoon, everybody.
We don't have Terry today because he's got no internet. I thought that was my excuse.
No.
Oh, the irony. The irony.
Hey, up until this morning, I didn't have any for a few days either.
No, Ruby didn't have it this morning either. But luckily they prioritised it so that Ruby could join us today. That's good.
Well, I told them they had to.
Now, it's a bit hot in this workshop. So I've got my aircon running.
Yeah, Colin.
Consists of 2 bottles of frozen water, which I chucked in the freezer, stood in front of a fan.
That's a fantastic idea.
Very simple, but it has actually reduced the temperature of this workshop by 5 degrees since I started it about an hour and a half ago.
Because it's completely doing away with the use of the dust filter because it's blowing all the dust away from the filter.
Yeah, you got to prioritise.
Yeah, I would agree. Take the cool air over the dust collector.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I mean, I can always turn the fan off and put the dust filter on if I need to. But cool air is more important today. I hope everybody is in the shade somewhere with a nice cold drink and enjoying the sun but not getting burnt. So what we're doing today, I've got this offcut. This was cut where the bush down. This is boxwood. It was at a steep angle, so I just flattened off a bit just to see where I'm going with this. I need to go down a little bit further. And I'm going to make an egg cup with a saucer. And if I'm going to measure an egg cup, then I might as well just nick one out of the kitchen and measure from that. So that's my ruler for today.
Okay.
So whilst I start messing around with this, somebody can let me know who's joined us today.
That's a fancy egg cup.
Shall I do it from the participants list?
Yeah, go for it.
Yes, please.
Right. So then, the alpha. Oh, go on.
So my keyboard was on the lathe bed. It's now behind me, so that's okay.
Okay. Right then, in alphabetical order in the list provided by YouTube, we have Amy DeAngelis, Chris Dodds, Clint at Wood Dancers, Clive Rogerson, Copperell Wood Turning, David J. Heath, Guildford Carpenter, Doug Miller at Wood Spun Round, Dr. Bob, Greg Alexander, I Want to Make Stuff, Jennifer's Craft and Creations, Klondike Craftsman, Malcolm Douglas, Michael McEwen, Michelle Ousby, Rob Buchanan, Roger Kent, The Wood Dude, Turning Time Creations, Ward Wilson, Ivy Woodshed, Wood Wizardry by Colin, link at the top of the chat. And wouldn't it be nice, and if I've missed you out, blame YouTube. Welcome one and all.
Welcome along, we've got 45 people watching.
Good afternoon, everybody.
The Wood Dude is in. Did you say the Wood Dude?
Yes, he is, Brian.
Colin's just asked me a question. Colin, sadly, no, it wouldn't fix. Not without it being visibly fixed. You see what I mean?
That's a shame.
Oh, that's another point. If you're using hot melt glue on any projects at the moment,
Yeah.
I was using it yesterday, and it is about half the strength it used to be. when you apply that.
It would be.
Be
Surprise.
aware of that.
There's a question for you there, Mark, as well. Did you get your digging done?
Half of it before I almost passed out from the heat, so I stopped.
Wise
Chicken.
move.
You're a wuss, Mark.
Oh, unkind. After all, unkind. But you're
It's
right.
unkind, but true.
Yeah.
It was too hot. It was too hot to be. I was out with a pickaxe and a shovel, and it was, yeah, it was just too much.
Yeah,
Well, then that's a smart decision to quit.
it is.
Thank you, Colin. I will do, mate.
I did sharpen this bowl gouge this morning, but this timber's coming off quite hot. I'm not sure if it's because it's being warmed up by the cutter or whether it's just hot anyway.
Might be
So that piece of
because
wood-
it's hot and hard, or dry and hard.
Was I right in thinking that piece of wood's in spindle orientation as well, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So you're cutting end grain there, aren't you?
I am cutting end grain, but all I'm trying to do is just what I should have done on the bandsaw, but I thought,
You
well, I've
just-
got to fill an hour with this, and it's too hot.
Why
to
use a
burn with the
bandsaw when you can use a lathe? Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Exactly.
So yeah, it's end grain.
You're showing off
It's,
for it, basically, Pete.
Just showing up, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look what I
If
can do.
not, why not? Jim Matthews just joined us. Good afternoon, Jim.
Hello, Jim.
And
Oh,
Roy
yeah.
the boy.
Welcome.
Hello, Roy.
Hello, Roy the boy.
Yeah, Roy's just back from his holidays, isn't he?
Yeah, well, a couple of weeks ago, he was away in Corfu.
Yeah, he probably finds it a bit cold here at the moment then.
Probably be feeling right at home. He's right down in the hot bit as well, isn't he?
Oh, hello. It's decided to leave the room.
Who
See-
left the room?
That wouldn't have happened on Nova truck, would it, Brian?
Certainly not. Wouldn't happen to Record Power for sure.
What was the reason, Pete? What's happened?
The
Do you have
reason
it,
is I'm just on a force and a bit hole, and I got a catch,
Ah.
and
See, people, it happens to the best of us.
it happens to me as well. As well as
So-
the best of us. But
But
yeah,
on a
I'm
serious
just on a
note,
parallel
do you
drive.
notice how, on a serious note, do you notice where Pete was standing when he was making those cuts? He wasn't in the firing line. He
No,
was
it's
stood
really-
Yeah, actually,
behind
that's a good
Pete.
point.
It's really annoying, that, actually. There we go.
You would know, Mike.
Oh, yes, I would. Yes, I would.
Speaking
That
from
is a good point.
experience.
Forget to mention it because we do it by out of habit. But yeah, you stand out of the firing line for these things. I am running really fast for a parallel tenon as well, or mortise rather.
And big sticky out.
I'm running fast because I've got.
To be honest, Pete, I don't think it was a catch. I think you were just being a little ambitious with the depth of cut you were
No, I did
taking.
get a catch. I was
What was it?
yeah,
Yeah, it didn't
I
look
was
it.
careless. I looked at the screen. You know what I'm like.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
because
it.
I'm cutting
That
a
does it
half a
every
log.
time, Pete.
I'm in air, and
Listen, Pete,
the
if the
speed helps.
if the ARPT says it wasn't a catch, it wasn't a
I
catch.
swear I'm going to smack you. You've got to stop
Yeah, but the
saying-
badge isn't here, so
You've got to stop. You've got to stop saying that. I'm going to get into so much trouble.
That's fine. Just
Yeah.
just refer them to me, Mark.
Pete,
Exactly.
why wouldn't you use a roughing gouge on the side since it isn't spindle orientation?
because I want to keep the shape. I want this flat bit on the finished piece.
Okay.
Okay, that's making more sense now.
Well, do you think he's going around it all the way down to the middle there?
Yeah, I did. I thought he was just
Okay.
completely showing.
Oops.
I don't know.
Hi, Todd at Brown Cove Woodworks.
I did actually consider when I thought, oh, what am I going to do today? I can't think of anything. Oh, I'll do an egg cup. Oh, shall I do a fancy one? I considered putting the egg cup at this end and a flat area here for the spoon and eggshell to rest on. And then I thought, it's hot. I can't be bothered. So, so
Roy's asking, is it going to be a clock? No, it's going to be an egg
Oh.
cup.
An egg cup.
might end
clock.
up as a clock. You never know.
It could be an egg timer.
Stranger things have happened, Roy.
Okay, so that's
Mark
enough
is
flat
very
space now.
intuitive. No, I'm not. I'm not intuitive.
Chris from Bailey Woodwork is in. Hi, Chris.
Afternoon, Chris, and welcome.
So I want to be just inside there, from inside of my cup. As I said, I'm using an actual egg cup as a ruler.
I've got so cold, I've got to turn my fan off.
Wow.
I'm knocking it.
Hmm.
It may be warm at Glen Lucas's
Hello.
this week. He's actually sent out an email as a warning.
Oh, you're going to Glen Lucas this week?
Dress appropriately, apparently, was the email. It's going
Yeah,
to be
well,
hot. Dress appropriately.
as I'm bringing so many tools over you, Ryan, I haven't got any room for clothes, so I'm going to be naked for this course.
Well, that's okay. Yeah.
Are you going to Glen Lucas as well, Pete?
I am.
Yeah.
Who else is going that we know?
I think Glenn's going, isn't he?
I think
I'm
Glenn's
going.
going, yeah.
I'm going as well.
Are you coming as well, mate?
Yeah,
Mike
they
wants
don't
to
know
go.
it. They don't know it.
Well, I did actually look at the website, and there are 2 spaces available still.
There's 9 people on the course.
So
If
it was
if
fully
fine.
booked, so obviously people have dropped out.
All right, okay.
Are they?
There was 9 on it yesterday.
Yeah.
Or the day before. So
Yeah, I
maybe
just
somebody
checked it this morning, and it said there's 2 available. So
All right.
You're going as well, Mark, aren't you?
He is now.
I am now, yes.
He wasn't supposed to be, but he
No.
is now.
Only because of
it's a little bit annoying,
somebody's had to
actually.
Yeah, no,
Because
it's really
The
annoying.
plan was that we would spend the next 6 months taking the mickey out of Mark because he missed it.
Yep. And now he's going to be there. Damn. Well, I'll find something else now.
We're going to have to take the mickey out of Terry instead, and he's missing it because he's not well, which is a bit mean of us to take the mickey out of him. But we'll still do it, obviously.
Yeah,
We'll still
of course
do
we
it.
will,
Yeah, I mean, he has actually said that he expects us to take the mickey out of him for the next 6 months.
We will.
So I do want to say, Terry, thank you ever so much for giving me your place, but I am sorry you can't go because you're ill.
Roger Kent. Roger
course you
Kent
are.
has asked me if I've got the internet fixed, and the answer is yes and no. It's kind of working at the minute. And if it dies, what I have to do is unplug the hub from the socket in the wall and use the hybrid hub, because I can get a faster speed through the hybrid hub than I can through the line. How does that work?
It's just mental.
It's
Steve?
absolutely mental.
Steve would like to know if you stole your egg cup from Zebedee.
Yes.
The magic
I-
roundabout.
Is there some way you could move a light, Pete, so we could see what you're doing because your body is blocking the light?
Can
Can you go to the side cam?
Go
Try that
side
one.
cam. Better.
Is that better?
That's better. Yeah, that's better.
Little
better.
bit. A little bit.
Try and keep my shoulder out of the way.
Rob, how dare you suggest it's my wiring?
William Kenny has joined. Hi, William.
We had a whole investigation this morning, and the
Hi,
guy
William.
from
Lovely stuff.
OpenReach says it's the wire outside the house from the pole up to the exchange.
That's their problem to fix then, isn't it?
Oh yeah, They're coming on Friday
Yeah.
morning with traffic lights, so as they can get into all the places they need to get into.
Benjamin's
Well,
just joined. Hello, Ben.
Hi, Ben. Welcome along, mate.
Good
Oh, yeah,
morning,
Ben.
Ben.
It's
The other thing I would
100%
recommend if you're doing this, hard boil an egg and bring it down to the workshop with you.
Or just leave an egg outside and it'll hard boil itself.
I did think about bringing an egg down. I forgot to hard boil one, and I don't really want to bring a fresh egg down into this heat, so I'm going to just guess it.
I did offer to loan Pete one of mine, but
Yeah, Ruby did offer to loan one, but we tried to fax it through, but it wouldn't come.
yeah.
Oh, you're yoking.
Oh,
You could have
Oh, come on.
3D scanned it. That's what you should have done.
That's
Yeah,
a
that's about
cracking
right.
idea.
Egg will fit in there, no problem.
Barry's Wood Creations is in, and we missed
Hi,
him
Barry.
apparently. Hi, Barry.
Hi, Barry. How are you?
That's Mark's fault, Barry.
The shell it is.
Well, you read out who was in, and you missed him. William Kenny
Just trying to do
says.
as many egg jokes as I can quickly.
William Kenny's in. And he says, "How's everybody in coping with the heat?"
Marvellous. Thank you.
I'm having great fun with the heat.
I mean, it's
about
crazy.
20
This is actually
only
quite cool
27.
compared to other countries.
Yeah.
Yep. It's 27 degrees outside my house at the moment.
I'm good. I'm dealing with it quite well because straight after this live, I'm going to get into an air-conditioned car and drive to Bristol for 2.5 hours, and then walk into a house that hopefully has air conditioning. Don't you, Pete?
No, we don't have any air conditioning. Sorry, Mark.
I
And
wouldn't go.
What's
wouldn't go,
worse, we
Mark.
then have to move your car to my daughter's house because they're
Well, then
closing
I
my
think we might
road,
have to go to the pub straight afterwards then.
and then we get on the Doom Bar after that.
I'm glad I have central air conditioning here and 2 dehumidifiers working.
Question there for you, Mike.
Yeah.
Todd?
Hello, Todd. AKA the international colorist is it? Well, I don't think so, because Pete is another international colorist who loves color. I don't think he's going to be coloring this one, Todd.
No, I'm actually going to use this one. This is going to be for me.
Oh, well, color
So-
it then.
I'm not going to put any colour on it because I like the colour of the wood.
Mm.
And also,
Well, that's very boring attitude, Pete, if I may say so. You wouldn't hear words like that coming out of my mouth, let me tell you.
Much.
more practically than that, this is going to have a space on it for me to rest my spoon that I'm going to see sticking in my mouth and
Oh,
put my
right,
salt
okay.
in. And I don't want to be putting anything on there which is going to cause me problems. So
Well, what you want to do, I'd suggest you just mix some U up with some CA and cover the surface with that.
Tell you what,
No,
though,
I-
Pete, against the gorgeous
I'm
shirt
using
it's
all my
got on.
U at the moment, mate. I'm making you a nice wine goblet.
All right. with a picture. Thank you.
Apparently it's 34 degrees in West Beach.
I thought you were making a two-piece goblet, Pete, with a laburnum stem and a U cup.
Well, actually, I was thinking about making a laburnum jug so that you could aerate the nice red wine,
Mm.
and a U goblet to drink it out of.
That's a good idea. Let the laburnum have a chance to really infuse into the wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hugh wants to know, Pete, is there going to be space for the soldiers?
No, because I don't have soldiers with my egg.
Oh,
All
You
right.
really are
no.
heathen.
I
Yeah,
know.
but-
Somebody get onto the sun
I
immediately.
suppose you put jam on top of the cream as well.
Heather's in from Spirit Winds, Wood, Stone and Bone. Hi, Heather.
Hi, Heather. Welcome.
Lewis
And we
was
did actually have a
saying,
cream scone, not last weekend, the weekend before we were down in Cornwall.
We know you did.
yeah.
So we had a cream tea while we were there. And
If you didn't do it right.
because we were fairly close to the border, I did check with the waitress which way wouldn't get us killed. So we had to put the jam on first because You know, it depends on where you are. If you didn't want to die, then you've got to do what they say.
You
I have
wouldn't
to
want to
say,
cause an international incident.
yeah, putting jam on first is
Done it again.
is sensible.
Hmm.
What have you done again? Pete,
Knocked it
behave
off again.
yourself. Behave
Boy,
yourself.
Sure.
Pete.
boy's going to Cornwall in.
I'm really
Why?
enjoying this demo. It's like watching me turn.
I was just thinking the same thing. Mike.
Thank you,
It's like,
Brian. I thought
That's
you'd
just
like.
Mike.
That's
It's like,
an
what's Mike?
opportunity.
So, Roy, when you come to Cornwall next year, give me a shout. If you're anywhere nearby, we can meet up. We can come
Yeah,
to the
we didn't
workshop.
tell Mark we were coming down.
I would blame that SDM O'Donnell Jaws on that S thing, Chuck.
Well, it kind of is, but it's not their fault because they are dovetail, and I've just done a parallel hole. So it is the jaw that was the problem. However,
I'm a bit
What's that?
annoyed, actually, Pete, in fairness, because it's sort of like a rule of thumb and unwritten law that if you copy somebody, you should always give them credit for inspiration.
yeah,
You've had 2 flyers and you haven't mentioned me once.
yeah, but it hasn't broken, Mike. If it had broken, you've got the credit.
Yeah, that would
Oh,
be
okay.
different. Yeah.
All right. Okay. We've only got your word for it, mind.
Oh, he's going to St Ives. St Ives. No, that's about 2.5 hours away.
Yeah, it's quite a distance, isn't it?
Yeah.
Actually, it's
In
2.5
March.
hours away most of the year, but in the summer, it's
4
about
hours away.
a week away.
Yeah. Rex B's in. Hi, Rex.
Hi, Rex. Very true. It's great to see the master do something intentionally to show us beginners how to correct. Well, I know Pete's doing that, but I'll be a little secret, Rex. Every time I've done it on camera, it's been intentionally just to put everybody at ease to show it hasn't
Yeah.
been
Oh,
work.
yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right, Walt.
Well, you can't disprove it.
Now,
I
I
mean,
do
what?
often, well, pretty much everything I do, I use the same method. I just put a forstner bit into it, bang it on the chuck, and away I go.
Hmm.
Um,
Maybe you should rethink that then.
I would often have the tails stocks brought up.
Mike,
It's
can't
slow
you put out,
learner.
Mike? There ain't many people that are, but Pete is bigger than you.
Size at my age is of no importance whatsoever, Mark.
Okay, cool.
I mean, 3 inches is neither here nor there.
Stephen is complaining that he very rarely gets any checks from you, Pete, for all the wonderful ideas he gives you.
Well, I tell you what, Pete, that's wrong. You should.
Yeah.
Lewis, back a while ago, commented that he was having a problem with the heat because his igloo is starting to melt.
Yeah.
Mine disappeared weeks ago. I had to actually move back into a house.
I'll tell you what was funny, actually, yesterday. Quite a while ago, I just put a little plywood shelf onto my plywood backing wall, and I couldn't be bothered to do too little. I just literally to hold a worm screw, yeah?
Yeah.
So I just hot glued it on. And I was doing something, and there was a bang. What's that? It just fell off because the hot glue melted.
Yeah. As I said earlier,
Rex?
you've got to be a bit aware of hot glue because hot melt glue in this temperature because it's
Yes. Yeah.
not as hard as it should be.
No.
Rex is asking, has any of I or any of the others done a thimble week? That's
Thimble?
not a
Don't
bad
think
idea.
so.
Is that a thimble?
We haven't.
Or thimble?
Thimble.
Oh,
Pete, I
thimble.
don't know if you know, but you've got your arm, buddy. Other one.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Actually,
live blood.
Rex, you might want to send that idea over to,
Steve at SK Crafts.
right.
that's actually a love cut from the cat. She scratched my arm this morning.
Thimbles is not in the menu currently.
I got bitten by a dog this morning.
And what did you do to deserve that?
Yeah, you obviously earned that.
No, it was a little puppy, and he was gnawing on my hand as puppies do, and I was playing it and dragging it around the kitchen floor, and His little sharp, because when they're puppies, it's a bull. It's what was it? A bulldog, British bulldog. It's only 18 weeks, and
Yeah.
you know, his little teeth are like little needles,
Yep.
and he started licking, and I thought, oh, that's good. Oh shit! Blood pouring out 2 puncture holes in my hand.
There's the email address for Steve. Rex,
And
if you
Robert-
send him an
and-
email with that idea.
Yeah, Robert Buchanan says, poor dog.
Yeah, he'll most probably die now. That's bitten me.
Yeah, I was going to say, have you checked the dog for any disease?
It may be a
Cat
while
is,
before we get round
slightly
to
distressed
Campbell's.
by the temperature at the moment, so she wants a lot of attention.
Yeah.
And she walks along and she puts her paw on your leg and just touches you and says, "Pick me up, pick me up." Of course,
Here's
we're wearing
asking.
shorts at the moment.
Question, Mike. Is the puppy okay?
Well, my son took it home, but whether it survived the journey, I don't know.
Yes,
So-
right. Green Sands, yes. I used to live in Burnham. So you'd have gone through Burnham to get to Breen.
I'd like to make one comment, and not wishing to take over, but Rex B made a comment a little bit earlier on about, oh, Mike, you're on form today. And I find that a bit of an insult because I think I'm rude all the time. Please check me if I'm not and remind me if I'm too...
You are under contract with Rude, so...
Exactly.
So Lewis has got a premier tonight, guys. And he said he's made a nice 2-piece goblet for tonight's premier.
Oh, nice.
He's not sure if you could call it a hybrid or not, but the cup is resin.
Oh,
I've actually seen it. That's going to be worth the watching, guys. I've actually seen that piece. Lovely.
Yeah.
Dr. Bob's got an interesting question, and I think the answer is yes, in my opinion. Is learning how to get a catch safely a skill to use in reality, teaching techniques for beginners, turning safety teaching? Yes.
Yes, exactly.
I think if you can teach a learner how to react and what to expect to what happens when you get a catch, then it doesn't come as such a surprise for them when it happens, because it inevitably will for all of us.
Yeah. The thing
I
is...
agree with that up to a
Les
point.
Thorne does that. Les Thorne does a demonstration of it all the time.
Yeah, the biggest thing I feel, I haven't actually seen Les's, but I find that if you can get a beginner not to white knuckle the grip on a tool,
Yeah.
and not push into the wood, let the wood come down onto the tool. If you get a catch, it is virtually insignificant because the tool just bounces away from the surface. If you're pushing into it, it's got to do all sorts of nasty things. So
Lewis says he thinks the proper reaction is to stop, drop, and roll. That's set them on fire.
yeah.
Yeah, he's probably right there. But,
Turning Time Creations has got to go. All the best. Thanks for popping in.
Catch you
There's,
later.
Just a creative cover-up. No, I think it's a valid point, Bob.
there is
I disagree. I prefer to teach people not to get catches right from the get-go.
Yeah.
Or explain to them why one is created so that they understand what they would have done to get one.
That's what we're saying. But if you do get one, the reaction from it, so you can see.
Ruby, I was watching Steve Jones the other day, and he got a catch, and it, with his skew chisel, and it was so insignificant, and yet his spindle was turning as usual 2,000 plus RPM, and he got a catch, and it really it was hardly noticeable because of the way that he turns. I totally agree with you. You must go through the mechanics with newer turners, the reason for getting catches, but they will get catches. There is no two ways about it, and they must know that to reduce the catch, in my opinion, and I'm not
the
as
difficulty with teaching how to avoid a catch is catches come. There is one reason for a catch. The one reason for a catch is you weren't paying attention.
Yeah, totally.
But there are so many ways that you can not pay attention that will result in a catch, or could result in a catch, that you can't possibly cover it. What you can do is teach proper tool controls so that their grip is not too tight, as you say. where you stand, so that if you get a serious one like I did earlier and it goes flying, you're not in the line of it.
Yeah.
Um,
You can
and that
stand like,
changes because where I am now, I'm just on a friction drive now. Where I try and get myself a new way of holding this and repair the damage I did earlier.
Mark Jordan's
That
just
can't
joined.
come off.
I know.
I've got a point in that end, and I've got a friction drive in that end, so that can't come off. So I can stand here quite happily and run the lathe with it pointing straight at me. But if it's on a mortise or a tenon in the chuck, especially when it's a bad one because you've just done a forcing a bit like I did, so you've got a parallel mortise on a dovetail chuck jewel, then you stand away from it. And that sort of thing, you could try to teach it, but there's just so much of it. All you can do is cover the basics. And I think the way to teach it is to tell people, not to show people. Because if you try to show it, then they get too specific.
I
And you
think at
don't
the
want
end of
people
the,
being specific.
well, I think at the end of the day, one of the other caveats is that, and I'm always afraid of saying anything now, because with Ruby's experience, you know, I might be saying something she doesn't agree with, but, you know, hey ho, this is what I feel, is that every time you can bring up your tailstock when you're turning a bowl or whatever, every time the maximum amount of safety measures you can take to stop that piece flying off the lathe, use it.
Well, I'll
You know.
agree with that statement.
You know.
Yep.
Oh, thank you.
100%. 100%.
I'm
I mean, that is actually very true. I should have had the tailstock in place, but it would be getting in the way of the camera, so that's why I didn't.
I wasn't going to be specific, Pete, because it's your live.
No, you're absolutely right. I should have had the tailstock in place, and I knew that. But you know,
Norman Greenwell's just
you
joined.
do
Hi,
things
Norman.
different when you're
I
trying
know,
to show
man.
people stuff.
Yeah, indeed. I quite agree.
Well, Dr. Bob makes a good point that sometimes catches happen because of hidden nails, etc. in
Oh,
the wood.
yes. Of course I do. Yeah, it's a very valid point.
And sometimes you might even have cracks in the wood that were a result of how the tree was felled.
Yep.
You know, it's not something that was your fault, so to speak.
Even a hidden knot that you uncover as you turn
Yeah.
can
True.
cause variance in the wood, and you might have been going along happily with your bevel the way it was, and all of a sudden, boom, you hit a piece of wood that's much harder.
Yeah,
Or
I tend
just
to-
enough to
something like that.
dislodge it.
I tend
I
to
agree.
agree with Ruby, though, that you shouldn't be teaching people how to do things wrong.
No. I didn't say that. What I'm saying
No,
is,
I don't think we said that. I think we were saying you should teach them
Yeah.
how to react when
if
it goes wrong.
because it will. It's not a case of if; it's a case of when. I defy anybody to say that since they started turning from day one, that they've never had a catch. I just defy anybody to say that.
Um,
Well, we know
apart
you
from
have,
Brian,
Brian, because we've seen you have.
apart from Brian,
just one or two.
yeah. I never
Yeah,
have
right.
catches. I have what I call forced errors. It's like when I used to play golf. It wasn't a slice. It was a power slide. It wasn't a
Yeah.
slice.
Or in tennis, they call them unforced errors nowadays.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Basically, you cocked up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But no, I mean, I totally agree with Ruby. Essentially, you don't teach people how to get catches, obviously, but the inevitable will happen. And I think not too much information, but just the basics of making. Otherwise, you make people scared. And if you're scared of doing something while you're actually at the lathe, you're going to make an error because you're not confident in what you're doing. But I think it has to be addressed at some point.
No, Todd makes a point. The instructor can demonstrate the various catches.
Yep.
I find that extremely hard to do.
Yes,
I've
yep.
spent so much time making sure I don't get catches, and I know what causes one, that to do one on purpose is difficult. Like if I'm teaching how to use a skew, and I want to demonstrate what causes a catch with the skew, instead of turning the machine off, I have one of the students actually turn the spindle by hand, and so that it's at an extremely low speed, and I can demonstrate the catch then.
Yes, I totally agree.
Yeah, I've seen Les Dawn do a demo like that too.
There's a lot of ways you can do stuff. I used to run a motorcycle club years ago, and the only rule we had was that we will never have any rules. Because rules are great. Rules are fabulous. But once you write a rule, you've got to start thinking of the exceptions to that rule.
Yeah.
And you can write one rule, and then you need an entire library of exceptions. Right, so this is now on a properly shaped and fitted tenon, so it ain't coming off.
Pete,
It's already been mentioned that I should have the tailstock up, but it will be in the way of the camera, so I'm not going to. But
Pete,
I'm happy now.
From
Yeah.
here, it looks like your dovetail is going in the wrong direction.
Does it? It's the right direction.
While we're at it, Pete, while we're picking holes,
Yeah.
why have you got big carriers in that jaw?
Because I've got big carriers on all my jaws, apart from the ones that I haven't got big carriers on.
Right.
Because I use the jaws in both chucks.
Yeah.
This is SK114 carriers.
Yeah.
In a, well, it's not an
Precision.
SK100. It's the same size as an SK100.
Yeah. So that basically is a knuckle buster.
It does have roundy corners, and I can tell you from experience that if your knuckle does touch it, your knuckle gets pushed out of the way without getting hurt.
Okay. Can you demonstrate that? Can you demonstrate that live on telly?
No.
Possibly not today.
Possibly not a good idea the day before you go to Glenn Lucas's masterclass.
No, that's what I was saying. If he can't go, then I'll go instead of him.
No, I don't want to share a play with you, Mike.
No, I go on my own anyway. I've been nowhere near you, Mark. I assure you.
Right. Trying to remember where I was going now.
Change camera.
Right, be quiet. Me, I mean, no one else.
No, carry on talking.
No.
I'll cover up my mistakes.
Mike, did you read Stephen's comment that he's been totally traumatized since watching your wood turning videos? So he followed your lead and took up knitting.
I was totally traumatized. Lovely, Steve. Excellent, mate.
Wood turning by Barry's in, and he says, "Hi, everybody. Hope you're all well." He can't type much. He's just watching. He's waiting to have stitches out. Good man. I hope you're recovering well.
Yeah, me too.
By all means.
We don't really care, Barry, but it's nice to say it, isn't it? It's always a comfort.
We're getting worse.
It's nice to hear, even if it's not meant.
Exactly.
One time when people have been pointing out things that they found in the wood when they've been turning, like Dr. Bob once found some lead from the Civil War. And one time I was turning a large vessel and I found a teacup complete with the saucer inside the wood.
Good grief.
At that time we didn't have cell phones or anything like that, so I couldn't take a picture of it, but I thought it was, and we found horseshoes in them as well.
Yeah, it's lucky actually that it wasn't Brian that found that lead, because he'd have melted it down and sold it to the travellers.
They were probably stolen from the tree.
Yeah, Douglas.
Hi, Douglas.
Hi, Doug.
Sorry, Mr. Mungum. Going to call him Mr. Mungum from now on.
Why?
It's the vagaries of Mr. Wolf. You've no idea. Yeah. It's the opposite of that, I would think.
Oh, Benjamin said he made a vacuum truck yesterday. Nice one.
You did not, Ben. I was contemplating buying a vacuum truck.
Chris Dodd says that I could write for sympathy cards. Yeah. I'll get in touch with Clinton cards and stuff.
Get a job for Hallmark. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you'd last long in that job, Mike.
No, don't think so.
No.
Well, it'd be the alternative sympathy card, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
There's plenty of them about already.
Glad you've passed away. Now I can finally have that seat at the bar that you've been hogging for the last 40 years.
Yeah, things like that.
Douglas says, I hope you're all keeping out of the heat. Well, I certainly am. Sitting in
I
a
am
nice,
too.
cool
Yeah.
office.
See,
Windows are open. Blinds are closed.
oh God, it's
There's
got
a-
the 30, it's 34 in here now.
There's a nice little through draft coming through the house. Doors. And it's blisteringly
Yeah,
hot
my
outside.
aircon is starting to fail. It's up to 24 degrees in here now.
Oh no.
I got to be especially careful now that I'm in an at-risk group.
Yeah,
And poor Amy's only 6 degrees where she is.
6.
6.
Cool.
Amy's in Australia.
well,
Oh,
it is winter.
Yeah,
over
but
there,
in the
isn't it?
middle of our winter and we're all
send the
freezing our
cold
asses off,
weather this way.
Amy's going to be sitting there going, oh, look, it's only 38 degrees outside. It's quite warm.
Yeah, I know. I've no sympathy for her, like, I don't know.
No, she chose to live there.
Same as I chose to live here.
Lewis points out that his typing has lots of catches.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we all
Not-
get that problem.
Yeah, you're not alone there, Lewis.
Todd says back when Mike was turning using a pole lathe, did he find any Bronze Age artifacts?
No, they were called current artifacts.
They were.
Mike, have you explained to people why you're in today?
No, and I have no intention of doing so.
Oh, that means we can then.
Oh, oh that's good, because I am.
Oh, it's strange that. Yeah.
Mike was another unexpected addition to the earworm team today, because he was given a day off today from his work because
Pick your words
Because-
properly, Brian.
because they're concerned that the heat may affect him because of his age.
Yeah.
Because he's vulnerable.
Actually, I had a word with the company, and they said that wasn't the problem.
All right.
They were concerned about the effects of the temperature on Mike's normal personality, and the damage that might do to the passengers.
Yeah, this is customer safety. Yeah. I got a relatively terse message last night, an email from my manager who said, I have been instructed to tell you not to come into work tomorrow. It's the first time you will of course get full pay. And I'm thinking, really?
Hold on a
How
minute.
very kind of them.
It was.
It's very, very kind.
But guess
So-
what Muggins forgot to do?
Oh, what did you forget?
Turn the alarm off.
Oh,
So 4:15 this morning, the alarm goes off.
yeah, Egypt.
Oh dear. But it was nice to turn back over and go to sleep again.
I'm not going to work today. Snuggle.
Well, I
like
tell
a-
you, I would guess, because today's only going to be 100. Tomorrow they forecast 103. So I'm expecting a call to say don't come in tomorrow either.
Yeah, I would think, yeah.
It'd be silly if they say you can come in tomorrow now because it's 4 degrees hotter.
Yeah,
But,
And the Wood Dude says that's a good job. The roads will be much safer today.
thank you. Do you know what?
Speaking-
It's lucky that I'm very broad shoulders and I don't actually get offended easily. It's not as I deserve it. Do I give any stick to anybody else?
No, never. No, never. No.
Thank you.
always.
Speaking from experience, though, Mike, in all semi-seriousness, I don't think people realise how hot it can get in the driver's seat of a bus. Because you're basically driving a big,
Greenhouse.
unair-conditioned greenhouse with a
Well,
massive 6-7 foot windscreen in front
Last
of you.
Friday, which was nowhere near as hot as it is today, in the cab at one stage, when I was in traffic, it went up to 35 degrees.
Yep.
That is not fun. When you're doing
No,
a long
absolutely
run, you've got the breeze and everything else. When you're in traffic in town, it is not pleasant. But it is what it is.
People say, "Oh, but surely you've got air conditioning." No, 'cause that's one of the first things a bus company turns off because
Yeah.
it's uneconomical.
Yeah, but you've
If
got
you're
to
a driver, you just open a window.
We haven't got it in the bus to turn off, so you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, we don't want to talk about work, do we? Really?
No. But it's
This is a wood turning video. How not to hold your peace when you're turning.
Yeah.
Where to stand when the inevitable happens twice.
Where to stand when it comes flying off for the third time.
Hmm.
It hasn't happened yet, but you never know.
Well,
Um,
we can live in hope, Pete.
Oh, we've got some other good news for tonight as well, haven't we, Pete?
Yeah.
Brian from Hardwood Turning has a premiere set for this evening. It
Uh-huh.
was just going to be a standard release video, but he's been persuaded to do it as a premiere because although Brian won't be there because he's going to be at the airport collecting Glyn Senior from the
I might
airport,
actually be back in time. I might.
Pete and I will be hosting the premiere, won't we, Pete?
And it is about 2.5 hours after you arrive, isn't it, Mark?
That's 2.5 hours
Oh,
after we've started
no.
drinking.
Yeah.
I'm going to change this premiere. I'm going to block you two from my channel.
Anything could happen.
Do you know on these
It's 30
premieres,
minutes long too. Oh dear.
Right,
It's
cutting
not
this
short.
saucer would be a lot easier if I had a whole circle of wood.
Yeah, that might
Because
Well, you
be.
would
obviously
too.
I'm coming in into a
Hodgepodge is in. Hi, Hodgepodge.
airspace.
Hi, Hodge.
But,
You're too tight. You wanted 2 egg cups out of 1 piece of wood. I know.
got to be absolutely honest with you. This piece of wood was sat on my drill press, and I just thought, oh, that'll do.
Pete, you shouldn't give away these trade secrets. That's bordering on the wonderful welcomes that Mark gives people. Oh, hello.
But
Ed.
I did think,
Welcome.
as you say, if I made it out of 2 halves, then they would actually sort of stand together on a plate if you wanted to.
God,
And
what a load of rubbish.
yeah, but
Yeah, right.
no, to be absolutely honest, I was riding back down from up north of England, thinking, okay, what the hell am I going to cut tomorrow? So I didn't have a clue. And I came in the workshop when I got back home, and it was really hot, and I'd just done a long ride with full bike gear on, because I don't ride in a t-shirt when I'm coming down motorways.
Never a good idea.
Is this a piece of wood, a piece of you?
Nope, it's
No,
a
this
box.
is boxwood.
It's okay. That explains it.
Which it doesn't have the prettiness of olive, but it has the same feel. It's lovely to touch.
Yeah, it's a very tight-grained wood. It's really nice wood to use if you want to cut threads for a box
Yeah.
or something.
We all sadly, well, I'm going to have to draw this to everyone's attention. We all missed Amy's joke.
No,
Whether we missed it on purpose or not, she's asked me to read it out. What is Mike Walt's favourite power tool brand? DeWalt. Thank you. Thank you. Try to beat. She's here all week. Amy, banned.
Nice one, Amy.
No, don't encourage her. She'll do it again now.
You do it again if you want, dear. You work away. Never mind what Mark says.
No, you just take the
No,
mick
I've
out
messed
of
up
Mike.
that corner, so I just stand that and pretend I didn't do it. Don't tell
Yeah,
anybody,
well,
will you?
No.
Lou
Nobody will
suggests I should change the name of the premiere tonight. The Dunbar Special.
know.
Yeah, I've only got 3 boxes in at the moment, Mark.
Oh, well,
Okay,
I
you're right.
suppose we are getting on an airplane tomorrow. That'll do, I suppose.
Yeah, this is true.
Hodgepodge says, I missed his comment. He says, at least the heat will prepare Mike for a bit of the afterlife.
Spot on. Well done, Robert.
That's a cracker. Thank you very much, Robert.
Rex B is wondering, are you making a lopsided candle holder? No, it's an egg cup, Rex.
It's an egg cup. An egg cup
What's that?
with a
With its own
place to put
plate.
your spoon and your salt. No soldiers, because I don't eat bread that often. Because my wife won't let me. She says it's bad for me.
Doombar's all right, though.
Don't know how I
Not
can live
bad.
without bread, to be honest.
Oh, Hodgepodge made a joke as well.
I
Yeah,
just
you
did it. I
just
just
did
said it.
Well, hodgepodges.
Would you wake up, Mike?
I missed
heat.
that.
The heat, afterlife.
Usually.
Did you just
Oh
laugh
yeah,
at?
sorry, that was Hodge. Very good, Hodge. Yeah.
Somebody slap the pensioner.
I want to make stuff. That's good. Joke. I would say Mike's favourite tool brand is Snap Off, not Snap On.
That works.
Oh,
I
these
like
are
that
good. These are good.
Yeah. You just
So-
carry on using me as your brunt of the jokes.
Oh, good. We will.
That's the
Oh.
main
We invited you in,
reason.
Mike.
That's the main reason Pete invited you, Mike.
I know. Hey, it wasn't for my wood turning expertise, Ruby. I'm quite aware of that.
Wood Dude says, Mike, I think it's nap time, buddy.
It's getting out of hand, this.
Time for your afternoon nap, Mr. Walt.
Yeah. Yeah, the passengers don't like that at about 3 o'clock when I pull over and just go to sleep for half hour.
I'm using the inertia sander here with a large disc on it purely because I've got those corners on the flat edge.
See,
And they
Brian
hurt my
couldn't do that.
fingers if I get
Brian
them
couldn't
caught.
do that. Brian
I
couldn't
could.
do that. Right?
I
No,
could.
Oh, you got them now, have you?
Yeah, I've got the big disc. I just haven't got any sandpaper to fit it.
Well, you're too tight to cut the sandpaper that size, I presume.
Yep, absolutely.
That's fair enough.
Too much wastage.
Yeah.
Hodgepodge says, we will. And we can use them again 5 minutes later because he'll have forgotten them.
Who
The
said that?
advantage of using a big
Oh,
disc on
Hodgepodge.
something like
Who
this,
said that?
That's Hodgepodge.
if I use
Can we have
Douglas
silence,
says-
please, for Peter?
Pete.
Silence. Go on, Pete.
if I use the normal disc, I'm really sort of pushing my luck on those
Yeah.
corners.
Good idea, mate.
By using a big disc, I'm well past that.
Mhm.
And as you can see, there's very little chance of that catching.
Yeah.
But that's the advantage of a big disc on a project like this.
All right, I take the hint. I'll cut some big discs. Jeez.
Well, they go hand in hand with SK114s, Brian.
Well, I haven't got one of them, so I don't need the big disc then.
No, that's right. No,
Todd is saying that you shouldn't pick on Mike. It's not nice to abuse the elderly.
that's
Yes, it is.
I disagree. I think it's quite fun to pick on Mike.
Yeah,
Using,
Yeah.
using the elderly is the reason we invited Mike in.
the only what's it? Because it's politically correct. You've got to have the representative old fella.
Oh, yeah.
We've got Brian for that.
What Amy said. Amy said, do the nurses at the home know Mike is out for the day and he has missed his meds?
Amy's on form today.
Yeah, she is. Who's Amy?
That's quite a nice design you've got
Jimmy's
going there,
Aussie.
Pete. I like that.
It is nice. It's
Yeah,
like me. It's simple.
I'm sort of semi-making it up as I go along.
You can see that, but it's very
I
good.
kind of had I had a look at the piece of wood that was on the drill press, which happened to be in front of my eye whilst I was doing something completely different. And I kind of thought of this sort of design.
I'll do for
Um,
Monday.
I'll
So
tell you,
there's an egg cup I grabbed out of the kitchen. With a bit of bent wire. But there's nowhere to put your salt, nowhere to put your spoon. So I thought I'll do that.
that's great. I like that.
So that's how
You
the
know
design
what?
came into my head. And pure laziness.
It'd be even nicer when you get rid of the nub at the bottom.
Yeah, I've got that to get rid of yet.
I'm only
But,
sorry, Pete. I'm sorry. I thought it was
No, it's
Brian
fair.
again. Sorry, no, I'm not.
Right,
I'd never,
right.
never want to be derisory to you, Pete. But Brian, it's just one of those things. It's a
Right,
given.
There's no nubs in any of my goblets.
No,
There is one here.
there's no goblets in any of my nubs, but Brian.
No, this is true too, Mike.
Yeah.
We had a debate about this and years ago with Nick Hagar when he was teaching, and The question was, would you prefer an outie or an innie?
Yeah,
If you've if you've got an outie sticking out from the bottom, you've got a little point sticking out, that's quite easy to get rid of. But if you've got a dent there where it's torn out, you've got to sand the entire thing down to that size. So
Agreed.
I don't mind a little nub there. It's fine. Because I can get rid of that in seconds.
Yeah. Do you know what? This is getting a bit. I'm feeling very down now. I want to make stuff. Says, oh, I was so confused when everyone was talking about catches earlier, as I've always called them, getting a mic.
True.
Oh, Jesus.
You're doing a mic.
Oh,
Oh dear, I've just done a mic. Oh.
yeah.
There you go. That's gone, Mike.
Okay. If you say so.
Trust me, it's gone.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you remember that blue and white striped shirt I used to wear quite often?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Ah,
There it is. There it is.
Hope you take the buttons off it.
Yeah, the buttons have come off.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, actually, the camera angle, or should I say the shadow that the light is, it looks as if the cup is actually off center, because the shadow, as we're looking at it,
Yeah,
it looks really
At
cool.
1 o'clock, doesn't it? Yeah.
It looks a lot cooler than it actually is.
Yeah. I've got
Oh dear.
I've got a light on here,
Oh, it looks really boring
which
now.
is behind the camera, so it doesn't actually trip the cameras too much.
That's better.
But it does cast a shadow
Yeah.
actually
looks
where you
really-
want to be cutting, which is not great.
It has a really good effect.
Just
Yeah,
cut
well,
on the other side, Pete.
Yeah,
All right.
I'll just cut that way. That'll be all right.
Yeah.
All right. Where are we going with that? That one. Final bit of 240. And that's as far as I'm going to take it on sanding.
Just coming up to the hour, Pete.
Okay.
Todd says that Aston has won today's prize, with Amy coming a close second.
It's true.
And Aston wants to know, do I win the flying egg cup?
No, I'm having this one. This one's going into the drawer for me to have my boiled eggs win.
Hugh says, on a serious note, 61 watching and only 26 thumbs ups.
Yeah, well, I'm not
Yeah.
surprised. You've had two fly-offs. I mean, can't we thumbs up to that, can you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course you can.
Stephen the Wood Dude says, when is the
I'm gonna
colour
treat
in the
myself.
going to happen?
You could
Can I-
give a
Oh.
thumbs
It's-
up purely for entertainment value.
That's lovely stuff. That is. Smells
This
gorgeous.
can I've bought. I haven't actually used any yet.
It's lovely.
All I've done is take the top
S-
off,
And smelt
sniff
it.
it, put the top back
Smelt
on.
I find if you mix it with petrol and put it in a pipe, it's a really good smoke as well.
Can we please just say that Mike is joking and we don't recommend that you actually do that?
yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I forgot.
Thank you, Mark, for pointing that out.
just to cover the safety police.
Oh, it was just back to my childhood, yeah, where
Yeah.
you did stupid things, but you didn't actually do them. I
Exactly.
mean, heard something stupid, but you didn't actually go and do it. Like cartoons when I grew up.
I
Yeah.
don't know if this is the right forum and muscling in on Pete's demo, but for those that are interested, make sure you've got something else to do. There's a good possibility I might not be working Monday, in which case I'll be doing a live on Sunday night.
Oh,
Coming.
no.
Yeah, so
Oh,
I just give you
Sunday
fair warning to get your DVDs in and get the
Yeah.
holiday photographs out from the next door neighbour.
Yeah,
Give
buy
you
a
something
movie
else
from
to do.
Netflix or something.
Yeah.
Right, serious question from Rex B. He'd like to know what citrus burnishing oil does, please.
Okay, it is a
Read the can, Pete.
it is an oil that you can put on and you can polish it.
It's so
it's a
sensitive.
drying oil, so a polymerizing oil. It smells delicious. Damn, that's good.
Smells like oranges.
And it's food safe.
It's food safe, but it's an alternative to other brands' lemon oil. It's similar to Danish oil in as much as it's a drying oil.
Build up coats with it.
You can build up multiple layers, but you can actually get a satin sheen. You don't get a gloss on
Yeah.
it,
Get a soft sheen, don't you?
but you can get a shiny satin sheen on it with a couple of layers and then burnish it up. I don't want to do that on this one. I just want it sort of fairly matte. But I
And
just want to sniff it. I'll be honest. I just want to sniff it. It's lovely.
one further attribute is as well, once it's cured, not dry, but once it's cured, 2 or 3 coats, it is actually mildly water resistant as well.
Yes.
So, you know, when you slobber your egg all over it, you better wipe it off so that it's stayed in the wood.
Yeah, it's just protective to the wood.
Examine says the smell also lasts a lot longer than lemon oil.
Oh, Steve the Wood Duder said, "What time's you live, Mike? I might see if I can get a last-minute flight."
You know we love
Yeah.
you, really, don't you?
Yeah.
Seriously, we
People-
are doing one Sunday. We are back Saturday, so I will be around, Mike.
Oh, excellent. Okay. I'm not sure. I won't know until Friday.
I will be as well. I will be as well, Mike. There you go.
Okay.
I
that's
would
brilliant.
be.
Isn't that a joy for you?
I
I
would,
didn't
I
want
would
you.
be, Mike, but I've got a choice
Well-
between earworming for you and sitting in a hot tub with Kim. So
Well, you could earworm from the hot tub.
from the hot tub, really? Do you
Yeah.
think that would be safe?
We could say, "Oh, what's that splashing sound now, Mark?" Right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Pete and Brian. I wasn't going to ask you anyway, Mark. So you know, it's
That's
no
all right.
harm, no harm, no foul. You know.
Oh dear.
Hodgepodge is asking, what kind of jaws are those, Pete? They look splendid.
Oh,
They are
Yeah.
rather nice looking jaws, aren't they?
looks suspiciously like O'Donnell jaws.
They
They're
would
called-
be the O'Donnell jaws, which are
Yeah, but-
mounted in this case on the SK114.
Never. I don't believe it.
Perfect combination,
The other
really.
name for them is loosehole jaws.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say.
Well,
The
as I
loo-
said,
the
that was my
loose
fault. I was using a parallel
Yeah.
mortise,
And you
which
would-
I'd done with a Forstner
It's
bit.
it's too late now. You've blown your chances of sponsorship back, Smaster now.
And you
anyway.
were only using the 27 mil.
And
mini
I was
jaws
using the
as well.
small one, yeah.
I don't like the
Which,
slide on it. Must be honest.
Yeah, had I used the tailstock, which I should have done, I didn't because of the camera. It would have been fine.
Wouldn't have gone anywhere,
Um,
would it?
Disc.
But you know, these things happen.
Right.
Don't worry about it too much.
This is getting a bit much now. Sorry.
But,
Hodgepodge has said, "What kind of jaws are those?" And I want to make stuff. Says they're Mike jaws.
Oh,
Oh, crumbs.
what jaws?
flying jaws.
Flying jaws.
Whoosh, Mike. Well,
Yes, Steve. Okay.
Yeah, see,
You
I'm
tell
trying
him-
to get a reputation like you, Mike.
Hmm.
I want to be famous like you.
Amy's trying to
That's
get into first place. Was Mike's favourite show, The Flying Nun.
Pete, that's infamous, not famous. Mate.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, is that different?
Yeah,
Quite a bit.
it's the opposite end of the spectrum.
Yes. Infamy is being known for doing bad deeds,
Like
and
flying goblins.
famous is for doing. There's nothing bad with that at all.
Right. Sorry, I can't work with that light on.
I'm going to be quiet now. I'm going to mute.
No, it's just
No.
that light was hiding my my view of the edge.
No, you don't need that. You've had 30 years experience.
Yeah, what do you need to see it for?
Yeah.
Feel
Turn
it.
by feel.
I reckon seeing what
Yes,
you're doing is
of course, Pete.
overrated, to be honest with you.
Oh.
Did something fly off then, or did it stop?
So
No,
I
it just
think
stopped
it's on
spinning.
a
It's
friction
only on a
drive.
friction drive.
All right, okay.
friction.
It's a nice light cut, says he's taking half an inch.
Yeah, yeah.
Wait a
Two
minute.
thirds of the wing.
Yeah. Smoke coming off the edge.
Oh dear.
Now, are you undercutting this, Pete?
Yeah, it's undercut.
Except for
There
that
is a bit
that
there
on
which
the
I'm
edge.
going to sand off, because I'm using the tailstock to hold that. I don't want to cut through that like I might do if I was on a different size piece.
Are you going
It
to
is
cut
on.
that upper left
It is
part?
on there. I could probably do that.
Oh, probably. Leave the tailstock and fix the edges.
Fix the edge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although it
Big
could be a
tool
nice
marks up the
design,
edge.
couldn't it? You could make it a bit of wall art.
Well,
Be
no.
hellish to try and keep the eggs in there on it when it's on the wall.
If I can get it to come off at the right angle, it'll stick itself in the wall, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Mark,
true.
Mark, if he'd done an accurate job, you could have it on its side, and the egg would friction hold into the cup like it would,
True.
like a pop
Suction
fitting
hold.
box.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like a pop fit.
Like a nice jam chuck. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
An
But
egg
So-
jam.
but as we all know, Pete's a bit sloppy, so
Oh, I shall tell you.
You
Can't
mean
wait
he's
till
like
they
a
meet in person.
it's like a French fit? Is that what you're trying to say?
As I said, this actually is nice and firm on that friction drive, and I could probably take that middle bit off.
Just as a curiosity, Pete, what weapons will you choose for this duel? Pistols or rapiers?
So
skew
cutlasses.
chisels. Skew chisels.
Cute chisels.
Yeah. It would have to
However,
be
the way my
cutlasses.
luck is going today, I'm not even
Yeah.
going to attempt it.
A couple of
Stand
old
up.
pirates, so it'd be cutlasses, Mark.
Oh, it's virtually
That's
got rid
true.
of it, Pete. That's good. Good bit of
Yeah, it's just
tool.
that. As I said, it's just that middle bit, and I've got a tool mark
Yeah.
there which I need to lose. But
Good bit of tool.
my
work
edge is
there,
good
mate.
now.
Skews at high noon.
I like the skews at dawn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Skews at dawn.
Oh, don't put your hand on there to stop the chuck. That's silly.
Oh, Brian Needs an SK114 has joined. Hello, Brian Needs an SK114. He says in capital letters, please leave Brian alone.
I hope you're subscribed to my channel. That's all I can say.
I
Or-
hope Brian Needs an SK114 is sub to all our channels. We could all do with the
Yeah.
subs.
Yeah. Strange enough, I lost half a dozen subscribers this week.
Yes, I'm on a downward spiral as well. Every now and again, you just lose half a dozen here, half a dozen there.
Yeah, I lost two.
And then they'll come back again next week or the week after. So
I probably deserve to lose about a dozen today.
No, I reckon you've gained some today, Pete.
That's,
don't be so hard on yourself, Pete.
that's a
showed
very
your
humour.
that's a very conservative estimate, Pete.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh dear.
Could well be in the dozens.
Hmm.
Ah dear. Oh,
Don't forget the price of them backing pads, mate. That's what Brian would be
would-
thinking.
the
Yeah.
wood
Oh,
dude just said that's the best name I've ever heard on a live.
what's that? SK114.
Yeah, Brian needs an SK114, I think.
He's got Brian Needs an SK114. He's got to do something now because I've just subscribed to him.
Yeah, put up a video now.
In fact, I'm going to go even better.
I think you should
Again,
go
I'm
on.
using the big disc because of that airspace.
I think Brian needs an
There's the link to his-
SK114.
Here's the link to his channel.
Should go and plague Axminster with questions.
Right, let's subscribe.
Oh dear.
Oh, come on, Maud. There's nothing on there, mate. I'm subscribing.
Yeah,
There's one
so-
subscriber. That's Mark. There's me. Notifications all. Okay, you've got 2 subscribers, Ward. Sort your life out and get some content on there, mate.
And I just subscribed as well.
And
Oh,
again,
Ward
it's only
Wilson.
standard to
That's what
240.
Wilson
That's
you've
all
put
it
on
needs.
there, buddy.
Sorry, Pete.
Only standard is 240. That's all it needs. If I was,
Yeah.
I think that was the wrong channel you just put up, Mark.
Robert makes a good point, Pete. If it's undercut too much, won't there be only 2 points of contact, and then it will tilt and rest on the curved side of the log?
yeah, there'll be
Really?
plenty of contact. It'll be fine.
Actually,
Why
is Ward Wilson here today?
Why is that? Yeah, Ward's in earlier.
No. If you go to SK1, Brian needs, comes up Ward Wilson.
It does, right?
Oh,
So
it's obviously
Brian needs
Ward.
an SK114. Must be Ward Wilson.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
is, right?
we worked that one out. Well done. Oh, I've lost Facebook now.
Good.
Facebook.
Rex B
YouTube.
says, question, does the SK114 fit American lace? If they've got a 33 by 3.5 spindle,
M33.3.5, they do, yes.
they will.
They also make SK114s with different spindle sizes.
Yeah.
They do.
So there's
All,
no
all
excuse.
spindle sizes, basically. Isn't
That is lovely, Pete.
So that's my little egg cup.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
really nice,
That's
mate.
a
Rest in
different,
space for the
that's a
spoon, a bit of
different
space for the salt.
design.
Yeah,
Totally different, isn't it?
just inspired by the shape of the wood and. You know,
I like that.
When it's on your worktop, it'll sit nicely up against the wall because it's got that flat edge at the back.
If you go up
That-
against
That's
the
true,
edge
Mark.
of the wall, if I cut another one, then they'll stick together.
Double leg.
You may stop
Job
it.
done, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
So, hope you enjoyed the flying bits, and
That was the best bit.
yeah, I think it was. And this oil, it's really quite good. Smells delicious.
Stop it.
And
Oh, she's in.
don't mix it with petrol, like I said.
No.
Yeah.
no,
Now,
you've
what,
got plenty
Yeah.
of salt in it
what
already.
flavor is that, Pete?
This is
Orange.
citrus burnishing oil. It's
Hampshire Sheen.
more orangey. Actually, it's more clementine
lot-
type smell. It's not quite orange. It's not quite lemon,
Okay.
but it's lovely. As I said, I haven't actually used it before. I just sniffed the can a few times. But I've still got half a can of lemon oil, which I've got to finish off. But it does the same sort of job as the lemon oil. It's a satin finish, but this one you can put several coats on and you can burnish it up, so you'll get a glossier satin finish. But
I'll have to check it out when I come visit you.
yeah, I
lot of
mean,
ni-
well, you
lot
probably
of
sit better
nice-
on the bottom actually.
I'll have
Lot
some
of
too
white-
by then.
A lot of
Maybe.
nice comments as well, Pete. So don't forget to send them the check.
I'll send them all a check, yeah.
Yeah.
But this idea is obviously pinched from somebody. I don't know who I pinched it from, but obviously everything I do is pinched, so I owe somebody
Probably
money
would
for
do.
copyright. No, he's had plenty of checks off me recently.
He would have put gold gilt on the top.
He would.
Mhm.
But all the checks I sent him are for £0, so that's good. I said I was stuck for an idea of what to turn, and I just saw that piece of wood and thought, I'm making a cup out of that. Why not?
Maybe you should have thought a bit longer.
Maybe I should.
Yep.
Dr. Bob said the best team of support staff made this shop a 10 plus.
Oh,
Oh, thanks. Thanks, Dr.
oh,
Bob.
Yeah,
thank
the
you.
support
Dr.
staff
Bob.
do make it. They keep you entertained when I'm being boring.
Very
Just
kind, but he's very delusional.
Just an advisory
I-
comment,
that's-
Dr. Bob. If that's the case, you ought to lift your expectation level up a little bit for future.
I have to tell you two guys, Pete and Mike, you've got your work cut out tonight entertaining people with my videos on.
Oh, I'm sure we'll find something to talk about.
Oh, yes, thanks to everybody for coming in. I hope you've all stayed cool. My aircon is half melted now.
I like that idea for your aircon.
Yeah,
That's a
the
good
bottles
idea.
are still half full of ice, so it's going well.
That's good.
Go back in the freezer for the next time.
Oh, thanks, Todd. Did Mike pay Pete to be on the live today?
Yeah,
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
yeah. He always does.
Right, so
But,
we've got Brian with a premiere tonight, followed by Lewis the Klondike Grassman. He'll have a premiere.
Right.
He's
Should we
done a
put his
goblet.
link in, or is he not ready yet?
No
Leave him to do
linkage
that.
yet.
Don't know. Then no live from me lunchtime Wednesday, but Wayne will be back
Hey.
Wednesday night. Shut up. Because I'm going to be in Ireland with these two reprobates.
Oh, you've been over
And then Thursday there'll be no live from Brian because he's at Glen Lucas's. And Friday will be Wayne again at lunchtime. Friday night will be Wayne. Will be Steve from SK Crafts.
Steve.
Saturday is the Virtual Craft Festival. Starts at 10 a.m. on JP Woodwork page.
Yep.
Goes all the way through the day. Steve from SK Crafts is on 6 till 7. Lots of other makers as well. And then Steve will be back on Sunday lunchtime. Mike will be doing a live, hopefully Sunday night.
Sunday
evening, fingers crossed.
he doesn't.
I wasn't going to say that.
No,
I was
but
just going to
I
let
could read
people
your
think
thoughts.
it.
Yeah.
And then back into next week where we've got Pete and hopefully Brian if he's got his
Internet
broadband sorted.
sorted. Yep.
He'll
Well,
be
I can
showing
cheat
off his
now.
newly found balls
can-
turning skills.
I can actually
Oh.
cheat now because I can just disconnect it from the hub and let the hybrid hub thing do it.
On Wednesday this week, Emma, the Tiny Turner, has a Record Power
Hello.
live
Yes.
as well.
Meet the
It's a
gong.
different time though, isn't it? For the UK this time?
Yeah, it's
Up
two.
until
Yes,
10 in the morning,
it's
isn't it?
the UK time this time. So let's see, it's 5 in the morning for me. So it would be noon your time.
Yeah,
Oh,
about
noon.
noon, yeah. Yeah.
So that's with Record Power?
Correct.
12 o'clock Monday.
Yep.
And you get onto that through the Record Power website, I believe.
Yes.
Go on the Record Power website. Live events. Click on the link and it'll give you a link to the Zoom.
It's a Zoom meeting, yeah.
Right.
It's a Zoom webinar, yes.
It's a webinar.
We will for the rest of this week because we are all going offline to the pub.
The Wood Dude is suggesting that him and Mike might be doing a live together. Colouring for the beginner.
Ward Wilson says Mike will be demonstrating 50 Shades of Tape.
In that case, they won't have to practice coloring between the lines.
Yeah, no.
I can say in an
Right,
upcoming
right.
video that I've just filmed portions of, I have a tribute to Mike Walt and his taping skills.
Don't know what you mean, mate. I've got no idea what you're talking about, Brian.
This might
Sorry.
be interesting.
Oh, brilliant.
And actually, just for the record, you can actually put a tennis ball in there and hang
can?
it as well. And you
Oh.
hang it off the side of your glasses. You've immediately got tailstock support all ready to go. You've got the tennis ball and you've got the tape.
Yeah, like Walt.
I'm going to have a word with Steve and see if he can do this.
Yeah, convenient jig that.
Yeah, I reckon that's going to be the subject of next Sunday's live is going to be tennis balls and masking tape.
I've got 4 light balls to very quickly make before I drive to Pete's. So that's what I'm doing. in the next 10 minutes.
Robert of the Hodgepodge says, best of luck at Glenn's. Don't do so terribly that he decides to stop teaching. I'd like to see him class
Try our
eventually.
best.
We'll try our best not to
Stick
ruin him. Yeah.
possibility.
Yeah, I'll make sure my tendons and mortars are in proper shape when I get to Glenn's.
We'll try not to depress him too much.
But, as I said earlier, I mean, it happens when you're careless. I was careless. I should have had the tailstock up, and that would have made the incorrect mortise, parallel sided, not dovetail, work safely. But as Mark pointed out, where I was stood, there was absolutely no risk to me. So
Well, we
we
weren't at
like to
risk
say
either, Pete.
we like to do things safely on YouTube, and it's unfortunate when you do it wrong. But actually, sometimes it's worth doing it wrong because you can show other sides of it.
Yep,
But
true.
I should have had the tailstock up, and that would have solved the problem. I didn't purely because of the cameras. So if you're doing it in your own workshop, bring the tailstock into play, and you'll be fine.
What a lame excuse.
And on that note, yeah, it's an
And now
excuse,
we're
but
pressing
yeah,
the button.
we'll
What
have
a
some
lame excuse.
safety talk.
Press the
Right.
button.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers,
Cheers, all.
everybody. Bye.
Have
Bye,
a great
everyone.
week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.